Hi, I'm Mia, and this is Shelby. We are the school captains here at Coldstream Primary School.
We would like to welcome you to our first virtual assembly. This is a way for us all to come together during remote learning and celebrate some of the great things that have been happening in our school community over the last week.
We would like to start with the acknowledgement of country and then the national anthem.
Hello, I'm speaking to you today from Wurundjeri country, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work, learn, and at school where we play on Wurundjeri land of the Kulin Nation, and pay our respects to elders, past, present and emerging, those in our community, because they hold the dreams, the memories of Indigenous people everywhere.
Now we have the principal's report.
Welcome to our first attempt at having a virtual assembly. It's a wonderful idea to connect with everyone in these bizarre times, and I thank Ms Fenton for going to the effort of putting this together, and also to our students, our senior students especially, who have done such a lot of work to make this come to you today. I would also like to acknowledge their work because they've been doing a lot of fundraising behind the scenes, and we have been hearing a lot of student voice around the place coming through to us, even though all the students haven't been at school. We've started to see some of the work happening around the school, beautifying the school, and Blake Martin's been coming in to do some of that work when he's not being engaged in his studies at school. Children will tell you a little bit more about what's been happening behind the scenes. Things are much the same at school at the moment. Of course, most of you aren't there, but we're progressing as much as we can with the learning at school. And we are very excited to say that the first of our 2 Indigenous murals have started under the expert guidance of Tiger Dave. Unfortunately, we had to stop while stage 4 restrictions were in force, but we're looking forward to everyone having a part to play in the creation of those murals when you get back to school. The other things that we've been doing quite a lot of is re-examining our school values. Now, you have had a lot to do with that. We have consulted with you, especially our senior students and those through Junior School Council, and we've consulted with our parents and our staff as well. And I'm very pleased to say that we have decided on our 4 new values moving forward. The first one is respect, which of course isn't a new one, but it's one that everyone thought was vitally important to be able to have a happy life, and that is to respect yourself, to respect others, and to respect our environment. The second one's a new one. It was hotly put forward by the parents, and that's compassion. Compassion is your ability to feel for others, to understand what they're going through, and as the famous author Harper Lee said, to be able to climb into someone else's shoes and walk around in them so you can experience what they might be feeling. The third one is personal best, because you students thought that that was a really important thing to do. We achieve excellence only by doing our personal best at all times. And the last one's another new one. It's resilience. It's our ability to bounce back when things don't go our way. And as Andrew Fuller, a very famous psychologist, said, it's the art of bungee jumping through the perils of life. So there are our four new values. And we will start to now work on some signage, which we'll put up around the school, and we will be consulting with you about the signage and what looks good and what you would like to see around the school. You might also have seen the video, again, with Ms. Fenton put together, and I thank the students who've made themselves available to be involved in that, and also would like to acknowledge the beautiful photos of Mrs. Norris, who does take a lovely shot. Thank you very much, Mrs. Norris. And I wanted to also say that we are now in enrolment times, so we'll be holding some transition sessions as soon as we can. But if you know of someone who would like to enrol in our school, someone who hasn't yet enrolled their prep into a school for next year, please encourage them to come and speak to us. So I know you're doing lots and lots of learning at home, and it's not always traditional learning. I know you're learning to play games fairly, you're learning to do some work outside with the gardening and with helping out with chores, all important skills, and there's lots of learning in that. There's lots of numeracy in being able to measure things up at home, bake a cake. So we encourage you to continue that sort of learning at all times. But I also want to stress that the one thing you cannot leave, and one thing that we should be doing every day, is reading. And I'm currently reading Tomorrow When the War Began, which is a story I read for the first time when I was a high school teacher, and the students and I just adored this. So I put out the challenge to a couple of students, Lockie Arthur. I'm looking forward to seeing what you think of it. I'm engrossed in about 3/4 of the way through at the moment. Remember, reading is the most important thing you can do, and probably the most important part of reading is being able to read aloud every day. And sometimes the same passage over and over again, but reading is absolutely essential for having a well-rounded education. So I want to say hello to everyone. I hope the rest of the assembly goes well for you, and we're looking forward to putting some more of these assemblies out for you. Good luck with all the remote learning. We look forward to seeing you back at school as soon as possible. Bye.
Now we have this week's awards. Press 1, Ali for creative presentation of work. Wow. Cooper for always having a smile on his face during our class WebEx chats.
And now 1, 2. Lani completing all given tasks and working hard to complete extra tasks to the very best of her abilities.
Now 3, 4, T. Zoe for her assistance to others while at school and for completing all online tasks to high standards. Matthew for working hard at school, completing all tasks and doing extra work on athletics. Jacob for being such a wonderful help in the classroom. Tiani for working hard and making sure that she reads my comments on her work. She makes the changes.
5, 6. Georgia for always participating in a positive manner in all WebEx meetings in sharing her ideas. Lily for creating a terrific Cocoa Tuesday note and running this fundraiser. Hayden for placing 100% effort in all his tasks and producing an amazing Rover buggy design. Riley H for creating an awesome comic strip and paying attention to feedback on tasks. Blake M showing improvement in his reading fluency. Nathan for creating an impressive comic strip and thinking outside the box, Kane for noticing feedback, taking on board recommendations, and always trying his best. Kaya for creating an amazing comic strip.
Hi, I'm Kaya and I am the Junior School Council Leader. I wanted to tell you all about the amazing fundraising we've been doing in Grade 6. Every year we need to do some fundraising for our Grade 6 graduation, and usually it comes from things we can do at school. But when we went to remote learning, we realised we wouldn't be able to do that this year. Then Mrs. Morrow and Barb had a brainwave. So for the last month, we've been selling face masks to our local community as a fundraiser. Barb and her husband have been very busy selling the masks, trying to keep up the demand, and we thank them so much for making this happen for us. Mrs. Orchard has been handling the orders, and you won't believe how much we've raised. Thanks to our amazing and supportive community, we have raised just over $1,000. We are so thankful to everyone who has bought a mask and everyone who has helped us.
Well, that brings us to the end of our first virtual assembly. So
Thank you.
stay safe and keep up the great work with your remote learning.
Thank you for joining us and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you and good afternoon.